check me out. I'm upside down. I thought it was appropriate. Because you know what my coworkers told me today? They told me I look like a vampire with my velvet jacket. Or Stevie Nicks. You guys know who Stevie Nicks is? She sings Rhiannon. So I just want to say hi quick. I'm trying something different. I'm having a super good day. Started the day by killing a fly, which was cool. And now I'm going to try and use my document camera instead of my phone so I can do a little less video editing. So this is probably going to come out a lot better looking than the other videos. And because I don't feel like flipping my screen and inverting stuff and doing more video editing, I just turned my document camera. I knew it was going to be inverted, but excuse me for a second. Just going to adjust the camera angle. Today we are doing adding and subtracting mixed numbers. I hope you are reading your updates because I made a very beautiful playlist. Looks like I found a teacher that has really nice, software and videos, Brenda, for calculators. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over all the calculator details because you can check out the calculator playlist for that. I'm going to try to make my videos a little bit shorter. So here we go. Adding and subtracting fractions with mixed numbers. Summary, adding and subtracting rational numbers. Rational numbers, remember, are numbers that can be written as a fraction. A decimal that ends or repeats can also be written as a fraction. The rules for adding and subtracting integers apply to all rational numbers. So everything we learned before, we're using now. Okay? And when I say a mixed number, I'm talking about a whole number with a part. W/ is the symbol for with. We're saving time. We're not writing ITH. Okay? Whole number with a part. For example, this is read 2 and 2/5. That's why you could write it like this. Like I said, 2 and 2/5. The opposite of a 2 and 2/5 is the opposite of a 2 and 2/5. Remember in the other lessons, a negative sign is a negate sign, and negate means opposite. So you have to understand that the point of today is a negative mixed number is an opposite, a negative of the whole number, and an opposite of the part as well. And we're going to practice that. Meanwhile, little quick calculator stuff. If you were going to type in mixed number, the mixed number button is the U with N over D. I learned from Brenda what the U finally stood for. It's a unit. So this is a unit. That's an N for numerator, D for denominator. This button, if you notice, is colored green. It's green on mine. It might be blue or yellow on yours. You really want to have the TI-30XX Multiview because this is the one I teach with and I go over all the directions for. Other calculators are not as easy to use. Okay? So since mine is green, I press the green when I want the green. I press the blue when I want the blue. So the button is actually the second N over D button. When you press second N over D, you get your mixed number button. Okay? So don't forget what an improper fraction is. It's when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. This is an improper fraction. You can write mixed numbers as improper fractions and vice versa. Back in the day, you had to do this by hand. You would do 5 times 2 plus 2, just like I did here, and keep the denominator. And that's what you used to do in 6th grade, but you didn't do negative mixed numbers in 6th grade. The negativity adds another layer to it. So if I'm doing the opposite of this mixed number, which is the opposite of a sum, it's actually the same as doing the sum of the opposites. Yeah, that's confusing sounding. So let me go over what not to do. This is wrong. Students will do 5 times negative 2 and then add 2. You're thinking that's what you told me to do before. I did, but that was when the whole thing wasn't negative. What's happening is you're forgetting that this whole thing is negative. That's negative also. That's why this is wrong. So if you check out the calculator videos, I'm sure it will show you how to change a mixed number to improper. It would be this button right here, second times 10 to the n. Changes mixed to improper, or improper to mixed, or fractions to mixed, and mixed to fractions. So second times 10 to the n. Okay? One more time. This is 2 2/5. This is the opposite of 2 2/5. And opposite arrows go in opposite directions. So this would go right 2 2/5. This would go left 2 and left 2/5. Okay? This seems simple, but it's a very technical detail. The opposite of the sum is the sum of the opposites. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is let's break it down. Give me the whole number, give me the part. Break it down. The whole number is, the part is. A negative mixed number is made up of a negative whole with a negative part. Okay? When I say sum, it means add. So I can put a plus sign in here. A -9 and a -5/8. This one breaks up into the -2 and the -1/2. Capiche? Negative mixed number has a negative whole with a negative part. A positive mixed number, this is just 8 and 11/12. You need to know this, especially if I want to draw something on the number line, or I want to use some of my properties to make problems easier. That's why I teach you properties, like additive inverse, commutative, associative. These properties make our lives easier, and we're going to practice that in these notes. Okay, so you've got that down. We're going to go to the next page. Ejemplo 2, example 2. Representing differences, you should know difference means subtract, of rational numbers, which means fractions or decimals that end or repeat, on a number line. Rewrite this difference as the sum. Okay, we're going to do this on the number line. So remember, we are always going to start at 0. Let's see, what do we want to count by? I'm going to count by ones if you don't mind. We always start at 0, put a dot at 0. Most common mistake I am seeing a lot of my students doing is not actually pointing the arrow. You need to tell me which way to go. You got to show with an arrow. Okay, so remember, the reason why this can be rewritten this way is because subtraction is adding the opposite. Don't forget it. Can't forget insurance. Got to have your nationwide insurance for math class so you can stay safe when we drive the car, when we drive our yellow calculator. Stay safe. Nationwide is on your side. Subtraction is adding the opposite. We're going to go, this subtraction is changed to adding. And the opposite of a 2 1/4 is a negative 2 1/4. They did the work for us. So we're going to go right, because it's positive, right 1. And then to make your life easy, we are going to break this apart. Into a -2 and a -1/4. So we're going to go back to 1, 2. Label it. Labeling makes everything easier to understand. And then we have to go left 1/4. This isn't cut into fourths. So let's cut it. That's half. Half of a half is a fourth. So this little hump right here is left 1/4. Now you have to see if you can read the number line properly. The answer is what we are pointing to. What are we pointing to? This number is more negative or lower than -2. So I hope I did that right. Oh, I didn't do it right. Did you find my mistake? If you message me my mistake, I'll give you a mistake sticker badge for your calculator. I put 2 humps, but I went more than 2 spaces. I don't don't have white out. Darn it. You guys can erase. I don't want to edit my video. People make mistakes, it happens. Let's try this again. 1, 2, there's my 2 humps. There we go. And there's my -1/4. Hey, this is a legit real life live lesson here. This stuff happens. So if you email me my mistake, I'll give you a sticker for your calculator. It's like bragging rights. I know maybe sticker doesn't sound that exciting, but I do make mistakes, and it's really nice when you catch them. So we're going to read this. Since we're going to the left, let's go to the left when we read it. It is a -1 and 1/4. I highly encourage you to do this problem right here on the calculator. I'm not going to go over that because I gave you the playlist for it. There's a playlist for doing mixed numbers. You need to check it out, okay? Because you are totally allowed to use the calculator. Okay, let's do example 3. Example 3 is a subtraction question. So the first thing we're going to need to do is add oppo. And if you're using a different color, I am totally cool with you writing over this. So the subtractions, adding, the opposite of a negative is positive. I'm doing mine in purple. I don't know if you can tell, but it should stick out a little bit. And I make them extra long so I can tell that I changed it. The most common mistakes that students do is they change subtraction to addition without doing an oppo after it. Subtraction and addition are opposites of each other. But subtraction is the same as adding an opposite. Trust me, I'm saying 2 different things, so I hope you're hearing me. Subtraction's adding the opposite. So let's go. This number line's already numbered. Remember that a negative mixed number is made up of a negative whole with a negative part. So we can do this all together. Let's go left, 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. That was left 5. There's my left half. That's back 5.5. And now I'm going to go, looks like this is a plus, this is a +8. Maybe we should rewrite it. I did this. Now I'm going to go right 8. Now I'm starting at the halfway point, so it's a little bit harder. We might do it differently next time. So there's 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the answer. What am I pointing to? I am pointing to 2.5. Okie dokies. And again, I want you to put -5.5 minus parentheses, -8 parentheses in your calculator, and make sure you can still get this answer. You really need to know how to use the calculator. I'm giving you the background knowledge that you need to understand how to break down numbers and use your properties. But for the numerical evaluation, evaluating your answer, it's 2.5. I wanted to go over that word evaluate. Make sure you understand that means give me the number. Okay, find the following sums and differences using a number line model. So when Simon says use a number line, you do what Simon says. I've got quite a bit of negatives here, so you don't want to put your 0 here or you'll run out of room for your negatives. A lot of students still think the 0 has to go in the middle of the number line. No, it doesn't. It goes where I put it. It goes in the middle of the negatives and the positives. So I got positives over here, put my negatives over here. And if you felt like using paper for your notes, that's fine. Just take a picture when you submit it. We always start at 0, so I put my starting dot. And I'm going to go to my ending arrow, which is left, because it's negative, left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice whole number. Point. Where am I going? I'm going left. I'm going where I'm showing with an arrow. Now we're going to start here. And this is +5 with a +1/4. Remember, because we broke it down before. It's 5 1/4. So we're going to go right 5. There's my right 5. And right 1/4. Now I'm curious to think, not think. That would be weird. Curious to think. I'm a math teacher. What do you think that number is? Is that -1 1/4? I don't know. Why don't you put that in a calculator? Put your -6 and 5 and 1/4. You're going to think maybe this is a -1 1/4, but it's not. It's less confusing if I just cover everything up over here and start asking you, how far left did we go? We went left 1, 2, 3 of these tiny spaces, which are called fourths. The actual answer is -3/4. -3/4 is to the right of -1. -3/4 is greater than -1. -1 1/4 will be a common mistaked answer. -1 1/4 is over here. Okay? And this is still a rational number. It's an ending decimal. I can write as a fraction. That is called 9/10. This is a subtraction question. Subtraction, adding the opposite. You can rewrite it, which I do recommend. Or you could write over top of it, adding an opposite right there. I'm going to put some numbers on my number line. I'm leaving room for more positives because I have more positives. And then this is 9/10, so I'm going to, well, I'll get to that later. We're going to start at 0, +7, 7 to the right, nice and easy. And then I'm going to add 9/10. Let's see, this is half. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to move 9/10, so that would be almost to the 8. So the answer is 7 and 9/10. And you're like, I don't need a number line to do that, Mrs. Roberts. I know, I'm explaining the background info. You could totally use a calculator for this, but we need to understand subtractions and the opposite. We need to understand greater than and less than. This one is greater than this. And the next page, if you have paper, or the next document in Schoology will be your practice problems, which do happen to be word problems, because the whole point of learning this math is to use it in real life. Real life means we're going to end up using words. Word problems. So, you know, make sure you're underlining keywords. And yeah, I make some typos here and there. Samantha Osher Fosher. Okay, I messed it up. It's father, not farther. So make sure you're underlining keywords. She owes. That's going to mean negative. She paid. 5. She got paid. That's positive. She got paid. That's positive. All right, so you're going to make sure you understand what are you going to do with these numbers. You can put this in the calculator. That's fine. Mrs. Roberts put a number line there because I asked you to model it. Simon said model, you model. It's only 3 problems, okay? All right, don't forget to check out the How to Use the Calculator video and be neat. See you soon.